Hey, and welcome back to the Intel World Open Qualifier Recap Show. The Open Qualifiers are now finished. We know exactly the players who are going to be advancing to the closed qualifiers. I'm going to be recapping that for you tonight here on the show. But welcome, I'm Logan Sama. I'm joined in the studio once again by Tyrant. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Logan? Happy to be back here on the recap show to talk about some of this exciting Street Fighter 5 action we've had in the Intel World Open so far.
And how much action has there been, man? It's been crazy. There's been so many events. There's been events happening around the clock, around the world. Some of the greatest professional players have been battling out against some of the most talented up-and-coming players out there, fighting it out, scrapping it out online. And now their last chances have all been used up. We know exactly who is going to be advancing into the closed qualifiers. We're going to be talking about that on the show tonight, but how do you feel now that that section of the event is over? Yeah,
it's really exciting actually. We're going to be able to see which favorites that we perhaps would used to be seeing in high-level Street Fighter 5 tournaments, if they've made it through. We're going to be checking out some of the ones that perhaps didn't make it through today as well. So yeah, we're going to recap all of that for you guys. There's a lot to talk about, man. So we're going to get into it in a moment, but there's a ton to cover. I mean,
we mentioned it on the show last week, right? Yeah. One of the most exciting things about the Intel World Open is the way in which new regions are getting shine, but along with that, new players are getting shine. There's some big upsets that are happened out there. There's some big names that we're not going to be seeing advancing, but there's some new names that we are going to be seeing advancing, and it's exciting to be able to talk about them tonight on the show as well. I'm really looking forward to that. We know who's going to be going into the closed qualifier, so we can kind of predict now. We can start projecting and making, our evaluations about who we think is going to step through. We can start looking at matchups. We can start looking at head-to-heads, and we're going to be doing that a little bit later on, right?
Absolutely. Like I said, there's so much to cover. Different players coming through that perhaps we wouldn't expect to see, but with this format, with the style it was, we kind of expect to have some of these upsets, especially in the game like Street Fighter 5, where, as we know, anything can happen. So,
well, you mentioned the format.
Absolutely.
For all the people at home that maybe didn't join us last time round or haven't been following, and they're just jumping on to the Intel World Open. They're ready for these closed qualifiers to start. We're going to run this video for you right now that will explain exactly the journey that these players are going to be going on to regional finals to hopefully, become champions of their regions. But if you want to find out exactly how that path is laid out ahead of them, check this video out right now.
The Intel World Open is here. Do you have what it takes to lay claim to the trophy for your region? The online competition is broken up into 3 stages beginning in June: Open Qualifiers, Closed Qualifiers, and the Regional Finals. First, you'll have to fight through one of the 2 Open Qualifier tournaments in June. Each region is split into different countries and territories to form 26 different best-of-3 double elimination tournaments, with multiple opportunities for you to qualify. The winning players from each country or territory will then advance to the closed qualifiers and face off this time in a best-of-5 double elimination bracket. The winners of the closed qualifiers from each country or territory will then advance to the final stage of the Intel World Open, the Regional Finals. The Regional Finals take place in July and are broken up into 11 different regions, where the best players from each country or territory will meet. They'll fight once more in a best-of-5 double elimination bracket for the chance to become the first ever Intel World Open champions. Be sure to register and get ready for the action on intelworldopen.gg.
Okay, now you know exactly how the players' path is laid out ahead of them on the way to regional finals. It's time to recap the first week, which was incredibly hectic. Obviously, the players taking their first opportunities to qualify. We're going to take a look at the regions here, and first up is Europe, EMEA. That's Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Europe West, Europe East, having their own regions split up as well. We had some big upsets in Europe West, didn't we?
Oh my goodness, there was a lot. There was quite a few players that didn't make it through that we would have expected to see there. Some household names such as Problem X, as you can see here. This was from the first qualifier playing against Hurricane, and it didn't go so well. This is the losers finals, I believe.
That's right. We pointed out that there was 2 Evo champions in Europe that we would expect to perform well in any big worldwide scale tournament. Problem X and Luffy, and neither of them were able to make it out on the first time of asking. We look at other players in the region, though, and they fared a little bit better. There's players like Mr. Crimson, who did incredibly well recently in the Red Bull. Kumite becoming the first non-Asian player to take that trophy home. He was able to qualify alongside his teammate Killsy, well, his ex-teammate now, Killsy, in the France competition. And we saw Infectious, who has been so incredibly stable in all of his online performances, going back years now, delivering some more of that strength in the UK first event as well.
Yeah, very, very, very strong performance. As we'd expect from Infectious, he's a guy that can implement his game plan not only in the offline environment that we'd expect. Online is fine for him as well. He's one of these players that he comes with a watertight strategy, and he's going to see it through to the end. And as you can see,
well, the big thing to talk about is obviously going to be, are they going to be able to make it through in their last opportunities? And this is something that we're going to be seeing repeated throughout the show, throughout the open qualifying performance. That is, there's just too many players, too many good players, and not enough spots. And now listen, we're going to move on to the next region, which absolutely personifies this. Asia. I mean, you talk about depth of talent.
Oh my goodness.
You talk about strength in numbers. You talk about not enough qualifying spots.
Right.
Asia is going to be an absolute bloodbath. You've got Japan and South Korea that you can see on your screen. Japan has 6 spots on its own. Crazy. It's going to be incredibly difficult for anyone to get out of there.
Absolutely, of course. You think of Street Fighter. That's the region it's a Japanese game, and this is the region that's going to represent.
Well, we had a big upset in the first open qualifying event, which saw Tokido sent to loser bracket and then not able to make it through in the lower bracket finals against Pugera, who has gone back to M. Bison, as he's known over there in Japan, Boxer or Balrog to us. Tokido taking it at the start, but he wasn't able to. He had a bit of a scare, right?
Absolutely, man. You can just see it right there. The footwork from Pugera, way too strong, and we all know Pugera likes the cheapness.
Well, it's all right for you Tokido fans, because on the second time of asking, he was able to make it through. Him and Bonchan actually made it through. So you are starting to see the players that have that guarantee, that consistency that we know of. The more opportunities they get, it kind of levels out that variance that you see from Street Fighter V online play.
Yeah, it's definitely some of these household names that are coming through, the celebrity status players, Bonchan, Tokido, they made it through there in the end. And it just goes to show, if you didn't qualify the first time round, there's always an extra opportunity there. So Well, not always.
Those opportunities eventually run out.
Yes.
And they ran out this week for a few of the players that you may have thought would be guaranteed shoo-ins to qualify. But there's only a limited number of spots, and there's only a certain number of players that we can accommodate in the closed qualifiers here at the Intel World Open. Let's move on to another region that has been very vocal recently, specifically a couple of you fellas out there making content. We'll talk about you later on in the show. Congratulations anyway. But yeah, America has a great wealth of talent. It's an exciting region with loads of young players coming through and staking their claim. You can see split, as you'd expect, west and east, and in the first week we saw pretty much things going to be expected on the east, but a bit of a surprise on the west.
Yeah, there's been some interesting results there for sure. We're just showing some of the footage here from the East Coast side of things. Of course, IDOM, as you'd expect, making it through. Just an absolute strong performance from him at Red Bull Kumite as well, taking the second place. But man, this Laura, I have to say, the best offense in the world for me from this player. He's just so dominant. And we can see
he's never out of the fight, is he?
Never.
It was Punk that actually made it through in the lower bracket on first time of asking. And I have to have a big shout out to Sabin there running Dalsim. He has really made a great account of himself recently in local events, online events. And we'll see him playing a little bit later on in some of the later open qualifiers as well. But as we talk about the West Coast, it's a different story. Some of the players that we were expecting to see show out, the bigger names like your nephews, your samurais, for example, they weren't present in the first event. And we saw some newer names qualify, like Chrissy CH and JB, who's a player who's been very active on the scene as well. And that's cool to see. New stories being being told here on the Intel World Open.
Exactly, yeah, really exciting stuff. West Coast, definitely very strong region for Street Fighter, has been for a number of years. So, yeah, some of these players coming through. Like you said, Chris CCH for me was a very impressive performance. You know, playing some Sakura up there, love to see that. And some other interesting results that we're going to get to shortly as well.
And we'll find out whether some of those more established names were able to get the job done at the next time of Austin. Limited number of spots, limited number of players can make through. We'll find out if they did. Let's move on, though, down to South America, one of my most exciting, electrifying regions. No pun intended for the Blanca players out there. But yeah, South America, Central America, there's an abundance of talent coming through there as well. And we saw representing Mexico, Central America, the DR doing so much, rest of Central America and the Caribbean showing out. Brazil, 4 spots there. I think that's deserved. One of the biggest Street Fighter communities in the world.
Super passionate. Yeah, really, really cool region to watch. You know, some interesting results out of there as well. Of course, we've seen some great representation from those guys in the Capcom Pro Tour as well as of recent. So, yeah, this is just a really, really exciting region.
It's a region that's definitely on the rise.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
They were robbed of a Capcom Cup last year due to COVID restrictions, but I think they had like 5 representatives in the Capcom Cup going into it last year out of 20. It was bound to be a loud affair, and I'm so happy to see so many of the players representing this time round as well. We're going to find out exactly who made it out of the South American region later on in the show. That was your top plays from Europe, the Middle East and Africa. We now know the players that will be advancing into the closed qualifiers, and it's really exciting to see some brand new names, but there's some big names that didn't make it out, and we're going to be focusing on that a lot throughout the show. On the one hand, it's so exciting to see some brand new names like Soundboy, for example, making it through. On the other hand, there's some big names that didn't make it out, bro.
There is indeed. And of course, the main one that we all expected to see up here,
there he
Problem
is,
X.
in the loser's bracket. Got actually double jeopardy by Mapalapu.
Yep.
We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's give the shine, though, to the 2 players that did make it out in the qualifier. 2 big, young names. AKA Jones, or Shaquille, as he's known. He's a player that, if you've been paying attention recently competitively, you'll be very well aware of. Made it out of the Red Bull Kumite Last Chance qualifier only a couple of weeks back. Before those Ken buffs, by the way. Did it without the Ken buffs.
Yeah, give him his credit, man.
Exactly. And obviously, as you said when we were chatting off camera, these extra changes have been the cherry on top of the cake as he booked his place. Going up against Soundboy in the upper bracket finals. And, you know, both of these are 2 exciting young talents.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they're both sort of in a similar position, you know, when it comes to...
Yeah, both character specialists as well, right?
Yeah. Both only play their characters, you know, Cody for Soundboy, Ken for Jones, respectively. And it's really exciting. Of course, this is just a Ken Masters round right here. Look at this offense. So hard to deal with. Plus frames, take that one there. Good stuff for Jones. Man, really, really strong.
But this is the big talking point, you know. Problem X sent to the lower bracket already by Mopulapo. They faced again, and as you're going to see here, Problem X just wasn't able to translate his dominance offline into this environment.
Yeah, it can be really difficult to transfer, you know, your skill set if you're a specific type of player, like we know Problem is. You know, he really likes that kind of like slow-paced, methodical play, which you're not always going to get playing online. And it goes down like that. Mopulapo with a third-place finish in the bracket.
And it definitely highlights some of the variants that we're going to see in some of the results as we go through some of these open qualifiers. Let's move on, though, into France, another region that wasn't able to deliver one of the obvious names we're expecting. Another Evo champion.
It's mad.
As well, Luffy not making it out. And we see Nasty Nas and Comfy are the ones getting it out. There you can see Lufkin sent to the lower bracket by Hado Lucky and then eliminated by Comfy, a player that hasn't been super active recently.
Yeah, a Karen player. You know, he I know he's been playing a lot with the French community for a while now, and I feel like Karen's that kind of character where perhaps you don't even really need to really grind the game too much, because once you've got those hit confirms down, you know, and you're comfortable, you're good to go. You know, you're golden. So, yeah, I guess, you know, it's like, it's like riding a bike, you know.
In her play style.
Yeah, for sure.
Here we see Nasty Nas getting the work done in the upper bracket final against Hado Lucky.
Another Cody. Yeah, Hado Lucky's another really strong player, but Nasty Nas, oh my goodness, just absolute offense.
I'm expecting another overhead at this clip. Probably in this stun combo.
Oh, he loves it. There we go. Hado Lucky trying to make something happen here.
Hard read.
No, not going to work there.
Oh, and a reset. He loves a reset. Nasty Nas, though, coming through. Boxer, formidable. But speaking of formidable, Comfy getting the job done with that carrying. Luffy trying out his new Colleen pick, which I know he started working on, I think about 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I actually remember chatting to Luffy a while back.
Celtic Throwdown, I saw him drilling.
Yeah, he was telling me he wanted to learn Colleen, but he also feels like, he told me that he feels like Colleen is a character where you need to really put a ton of work into, and he feels like, you know, he always wants to have Mika as backup, so yeah, didn't make it through there, unfortunately. An Evo champion, again, like, we so expect to see Luffy there. When you think of France and Street Fighter, you think of Luffy. But he's not here qualifying for the closed qualifiers.
Well, let's move over to the rest of Europe West. And, you know, the first name on the list right there is Mr. Consistent Online Phenom. We talked about him last time around. Shout out to Rightman's Barment coming through. Players like Fhassa and Vega Patch getting the job done. But, boy, that Open Qualifier 3, shout outs to Veggie.
Give it to the man. He's putting in work.
Shout out to Veggie. He's not a washed-up commentator, as he said.
Veggie's sick.
He's still sick. He wins in a bracket where he goes through as the #1 seed above Takamura, who's one of the best players in the world. He just won this past weekend Europe West CPT, and Veggie's there. I love to see it. Good stuff
man.
to him.
He's hot off that win, Takamura, but man, he's not hot enough to beat Veggie. One of the most dominant guys out here. Look at this birdie, man. Like, really, really good stuff, and his reactions are on point. And
Veggie proving that he is not only one of the best looking men in the FG.
Right.
He is also dangerous in bracket as well. There's the stun, and you are dead. I can see those 3 bars in the bottom corner.
Oh, we all know what's going to happen.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah, getting flashbacks of the Capcom Cup Grand Finals
Takamura
here.
did still make it through in the lower bracket, so he is going to be going through to the qualifiers.
Yeah, he's going to make it through.
Now, as we look at the Open Qualifier 4, and it's Finland that came through. Finland, not a country that you really associate with Street Fighter 5 on the world stage, but definitely players like Lohai have been doing some work in online events as of the last couple of years, and it's great to see him and Valix, who is the Rashid player, both make it out representing Finland.
Yeah, not just online as well. Lohai, definitely remember seeing him at Headstomper a couple of years back for the Capcom Pro Tour. You know, he's really putting in the work with Urian, been playing that character a long time, and, you know, congrats to him there for making it through. You know, love to see that. Good stuff.
As we move across the continent now to the east of Europe, let's take a look at Russia first. Obviously, had the abundance of qualifiers, and we were waiting for one name to appear. And it didn't appear in the third. appeared in the 4th.
Yes.
Big shout outs to Ras.
Yeah.
Definitely the most well-known Russian player. He is going to be there in the close qualifiers. But Xenom and Sunmate, both super active players in Russia and their community.
Yeah, no, again, Sunmate's another one of the guys that I expect to see here qualifying, and he did so. And I feel like this matchup is actually pretty good for Colleen, actually. Like, she can definitely fight Birdie. Oh, my goodness.
That was a really good reaction activity.
Yeah.
Xenom getting the job done. Both of those players made it out, though, so congrats to them. As you said, 2 super active players. Sunmate actually travels as well. I've seen him at a bunch of ranking events around Europe on the Capcom Pro Tour, so nice to see that representation back online also. Let's keep it moving, though, because we are going to take a look at the rest of Europe East. And you can see here that we had an abundance of countries represented. Once again, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Poland there as well. We are here. Shout out to Shady Imposter and Kajis as well, filling up the 8 names that are going to be making up the rest of Europe East. That's going to be a very difficult region to compete out of. You've got the likes of Takamura and Phenom in there as the overwhelming favourites, but it's great to see some of these lesser represented countries are going to be stepping up and having the opportunity to take on some of these big name pro players.
Definitely. Malmus, the Alex there, I'm really looking forward to seeing, because I'm always hyped for some Alex hype. So
warmed up, brother.
Oh yeah.
Lovely. Let's keep it moving into the Middle East, which is one of the most exciting regions at the moment. Obviously, just had the CPT Middle East happening a couple weeks back, and we saw Angry Bird make it out. Well, the good news is Big Bird made it out as well on the second time of asking. You can see on the screen there the names of the players that have come out, and a couple of brand new names to me, I have to say.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like this region is very difficult because a lot of the names, don't really travel that much. But very, very strong players, and this is the kind of this is why Big Bird and Angry Bird are so good. It's not just those 2 guys in the region. They grind these matchups and they play with them a lot.
Yeah, not to confuse the people at home as well. By the way,
Big Bird.
That's Big Bird playing on Angry Bird's account.
Yeah,
they train with each other all the time.
Yeah,
in each other's houses and what have you. So yeah, getting the job done. So congratulations to Big Bird, Angry Bird and GTR, aka Rashid Alawadi, who will be representing alongside the rest of the players out of the UAE.
Yep.
Let's take a look at the rest of the Middle East and that region, and we can see that I think we only had the first one last time, but shout out to Idris 22 and Amu. They're joined by Linz, Climax, KHG PC and Dark Sword MR. Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, all coming through there in the last stages. So it's some great representation again of countries that have super passionate fighting game communities, but not as many opportunities to really show their talents, and they're getting that in the Intel World Open.
Definitely, and some of these names, pretty much all of them, I'm so used to seeing online. If you play online a lot, CFN in Europe, you're going to be seeing a lot of these names coming up again. Idris, definitely a player that I recognise, out here repping Colleen. Another player that we're seeing a lot of. Oof, what confirmed there with the medium into the dagger. Ooh, might be dead there. No, not quite. Good stuff for Idris. Definitely a very active player for his community over there in Algeria. So cool stuff.
Yeah, excellent. I love to see this representation. Some of the lesser known regions stepping up and making themselves heard and seen in the Intel World Open. But we are going to flip the script. We're going to flip the table on them.
Let's do it.
And we are going to take it to one of the most high profile regions in the world of Street Fighter. We're going to Asia right now. Let's take a look at some of the top plays from there this week. That was your top plays out of East Asia. So let's take a look at some of the regional qualifiers that happened there. We were talking about Japan.
Mad.
We have to talk about Japan. Japan. Look, you can see the names on your screen. There's some names that are not there. Tyrant. You know,
Yeah.
what do you think about this? You know, you're looking at that. You're seeing Fudo there. You're seeing Sako there. I suppose Moke is not a big surprise as well.
Yeah.
We know Higuchi, but, you know, no Daigo.
No Daigo.
No Momochi.
Mago, Evo.
No Mago. No Fujimura.
Yeah.
I could talk for the entire duration of all of these clips and reel off professional players from Japan. There's no Nemo there.
There's too many good players.
No, it's a Zan. We could do an entire another set of qualifiers for these. We're looking at Higuchi getting the job done here against Fudo. Higuchi, by the way, has made a habit of beating Daigo in the mirror match. He did it late last year in one of the big offline events that they held in Japan. He's done it again this time round in the Open Qualifier number 3, and there you see him booking his place in the upper bracket, getting the job done against Fudo as well. This young player, who, by the way, uses the tracksuit costume anyway.
Hey.
So he's completely at home there.
Yeah.
Getting the job done against, you know, seasoned pros with 20+ years experience, and he's only a young guy.
Yeah, really, really solid stuff, man. Guile is just one of those characters. If you're good at the game, then he, you know, he excels. You become a lot more, you know, it just accentuates your playstyle. So really good stuff. And again, coming over on top of some of the strongest players.
And then in the qualifier number 4, Moke and Sako getting the job done. And Sako we're very familiar with. He seems to have had a resurgence with his Manat. Moke going through in the upper bracket as well. But again, Daigo actually went to losers super early on, by the way. We don't have footage of that because it happened so early in the bracket, but then eliminated by Nishkin.
Yeah, eliminated by Nishkin. I watched it on High Fight's YouTube channel. Yeah. Really, really solid play from Nishkin. Take him out. But man, Sako, let me tell you something about Sako, right? The clips, the ESL social media team has been on point because the clips they were putting up of some of these Sako comebacks and offense was insane. Really, really good stuff.
Make sure that you are following at ESLSF on Twitter, by the way. The clips are definitely on point. Let's keep it moving to South Korea. As you can see on your screens, at home, NL and Arpra made it out in the first time. And again, there's names in this region, legendary names in South Korea for Street Fighter that haven't made it through. But in their place, brand new names emerged. No Infiltration, no Punko to be seen, but Lobotomy.
I mean,
we tried to do our due diligence.
Listen, man, it's hard to
find nothing. We did our Googles. Yeah, we did all of that. We did our YouTube searches. Couldn't find anything.
Nope.
I don't know anything about. I'm super excited to see Lobotomy play in the closed qualifiers. I'm really excited. I don't even know which character they use. But with a name like Lobotomy, it's got to be Cammy, right?
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of these tournaments, like the players were not streaming them, you know, trying to like eliminate any chance of like any kind of online lag. So a lot of them just did them. That wasn't streamed. They just ran through. But yeah, coming through there, interesting one.
China had their second qualifier as well, and some names that we do recognize. VX Bao coming through, who we've seen competing in the CPT. Bison and Urian, I believe, was in the Arsenal. And you can try and pronounce who came second there. That one's not for me.
Yeah, okay, so...
Baitenny,
I guess.
A new name to me. I don't know who that is.
Again, not sure. And again, like the thing is just with these open qualifiers, anybody can sign up. You know, there's going to be these warlord players or players we've never heard of before coming through here. So right here we've got some Urian versus Laura. I assume
VX
this
Bao
is
getting the job done.
This is VX Bao. Yeah. I assume so.
I remember from CPT.
Yeah.
And this is a region that's got a bunch of strong Urians. Both Urian players winning the qualifiers. Jing Chun Q winning the first one, and VX Bao winning this one.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of a pattern here. You know, a lot of these Urians, a lot of these boxers qualifying, perhaps some characters coming through here.
Well, it's not like Urian was a surprise to any of us.
Not for that one, no.
Sleeper coming through. We knew that Urian was up there from last year.
No doubt. But like, man, some of these characters just excel in this environment. We all know that. So.
Absolutely. Let's keep it moving into Taiwan, which didn't have any qualifiers last week, but they've run both of theirs now. And there you can see there's 3 names that I absolutely predict. I can't. It's impossible to predict these qualifiers, but it's great to see names like Oil King, Gamer B, and RB in the running. And Gorodaimon is a name that's new to me, to be honest with you. So looking forward to finding out more about them. But Oil King and Gamer B passing through here. You can see them going head-to-head in the upper bracket finals of the first Open qualifier.
Yep, absolutely. Gamer B, of course.
Back on the Cammy.
Oh, he's back on Cammy. He tried Makali, you know, a few different characters there, but, you know, the Cammy is definitely...
Tried a Seth, didn't he, last season?
Seth, I think, yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, I recall seeing that. I mean, why not? Seth was ridiculous last season. Still really strong. But, man, there we go. You can see Oil King advancing there. Really happy with that one. I know his team, YoIU, will be pleased with that. Man. So here we go. This, I guess, is the RB.
That's RB.
Yeah. RB
up against Ataya Lin, who I don't believe made it out.
No, it would have been Gorodaimon.
RB, one of the innovators, by the way, of Urian.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Came up with a lot of the early tech, most of the early Aegis stuff that we saw in the first year of Urian's use. So it's great to see RB back. Oh my God, that picked up from down there. That was sick.
That was beautiful. And RB is a player that's been doing this for a number of years, innovating with characters. Remember Nemo in Street Fighter 4?
Yeah.
He did the same thing. Like, he just, you know, came with a lot of new strategies that and really develops the character. So good to see him up there. And shout outs to Gorodaimon for qualifying as well.
Absolutely. One more to go in this region. It is Hong Kong, China. We saw Hot Dog and Human Bomb make it through. Anson Fock and Round Pro are the 2 names that came through. So no Chris Wong, I think, is one of the names that I recognise from that region. Didn't make it out as well. 2 new names to me. It was Guile and Vega.
Vega, yes. I believe Rain Pro is the Guile player.
Yeah.
And Anson, I believe, is the Claw player. After a little bit.
Oh, here we go. Clips of that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Right on cue with that CA.
Lovely. Vega there.
Back to December. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, that is Rain Pro, I believe. There we go. And Anson takes the rounds there with the throw from Vega. I feel like this matchup is quite interesting, actually. I feel like Vega is one of those characters that can really annoy Guile, you know, with the great walk speed and the great pokes.
I love watching Vega specialists.
Yeah, do you know what?
You've got to be a special type of person to put that time and effort into Vega, right? So you know you're getting something
spicy,
something crazy from them every single time. That is it for East Asia. There's still more to come from that continent, though. So we are going to be taking a look on the other side. Some of the top plays there. Let's take a look first, though, at Singapore, a country that also, again, didn't have any first week qualifiers. They got both of their qualifiers all in this second week, and there's some big players in that region. You can see there, two of the favourites definitely got through, but surprising to see Sien not make it through on winner's side in the upper bracket. He was sent to the loser's side. Brandon, though, a very consistent player in Singapore, making it through in the upper bracket with his Akuma.
Yeah, absolutely. Been playing for a long time. Sien, of course, with a number of characters under his belt, did opt for the Seth pick here against Brandon's Akuma. Oh, no, that's going to be bad for you there. It's going to do it right there. And, of course, yeah, so we know Sien's been playing a lot of Rose, Ibuki, of course.
Yeah.
As we know, and now here with Seth. But
I mean, you know, the man innovated that V-Trigger 2, and Seth's V-Trigger 2 is absolutely ridiculous.
Insane now. Like
so no reason.
They buffed it to the moon, man.
But Brandon is a player that's just been consistently talented, very, very strong.
For a long time.
And was able to get out in winners. There you're seeing the power of this V-Trigger 2. Didn't even want to waste the CA on that conversion. And here, Leslie. Nice to see Leslie representing.
Sagat,
4 Sagat. He's been around in the community for a long time. Into the hands, and there's the CA.
Ooh.
That should get the job done.
Yeah, and these two definitely go.
Sien making it out.
And they definitely go way back with these two guys. You know, they were playing a lot in Street Fighter 4, I remember. And yeah, like you said, with the same character pick, it's always nice to see the throwbacks.
Yeah.
You know, like you see them playing the same character.
Yeah, I always feel like happy when I see Bonchan using Sagat, Ryan Hart using Sagat.
Yep.
Why is it always Sagat that's the throwback pick?
It's because he's one of the coolest characters in the series. It's Sagat, it's the king. Come on, he's too cool, man.
He is pretty cool, to be fair. And then, you know, we're talking about the old guys coming back, but SKZ, the young kid on the block, made it to Capcom Cup last time round.
More Seth.
Here again, more Seth.
Look at this.
V-Trigger 2, more nonsense.
That was ridiculous. I'm sorry. That was too sick.
Shout out to SKZ making it through, and Gavril 1, 2, 3 in the lower side as well.
Absolutely. Wow. Just wake up DP there. It says get off me. V reversal here. SKZ in control, of course, the Capcom Cup qualifier for the last season. SKZ, really, really strong player.
As we move on to the rest of Southeast Asia, last time round we saw Chuan getting the job done alongside Lacuna C, Bells and Ayano repping for India, which is awesome to see. This time round we had Kite Orca.
That guy.
Someone else. Don't even ask what setup that was.
Yeah, they nearly got you. I was waiting for it. But yeah, shout outs to the Philippines coming out here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but yeah, good stuff there. Lots of new player names, to say the least. Yes. Names that we've never seen, I've never seen. Wasn't expecting that, but yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful stuff. Let's have a look at some of the highlights.
Man's cool.
Yeah, man.
For the man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arrow is a sick Nash. He's been using Nash for a minute.
Yeah, man.
Always representing in Sien's weekly tournaments as well. I've seen him show up in that a great deal. He's been using Nash from before the buffs, and another Nash makes it into the next round of the Intel World, but Cyborg in the business this time around. Nash is good, but is he not that good though?
I mean, he is, yeah. He got some serious changes, but man, like, I still feel like there's going to be struggle matchups for him. Like, he's just that character, you know, like they can give him as many crazy moves as they like, but it's still Nash.
As we round up in Australia as well, one of my favourite regions.
Hype.
That community, great community. Shout out to ROF getting the job done in the upper bracket. Love to see that, mate. Nice one. ROF alongside Panda, the Akuma that is very, very scary. Got some big work done. Shenkan, the Zeku winning.
Zeku.
And Rumours made it out. Now, I want to talk about Rumours a little bit because he had one of the most stressful paths.
Quite a storyline.
Rumours and Sabin are probably the two players that I feel like had to work the hardest to get into the next round. Rumours lost upper bracket final in the third.
Two times, right?
He lost the upper bracket final in the fourth qualifier. He lost the lower bracket final in the third qualifier, and then finally Rumours has come back
There he is. Yeah, he made it through.
Oh yeah. So after a great year last year, putting Cody back up there, I think it was the first Cody to ever qualify for a Capcom Cup. He's back there at the World Open, doing the business. Pick up the Australian community, man. They've got so many really cool players there, so many great events happening across an enormous geographical mass.
Yeah, it's huge.
They're battling with online connections, infrastructure, doing all sorts of stuff there, and more power to them. Our cousins, I guess, out there. Looking forward to seeing more from them. We have the rest of Oceania though, as we see New Zealand with a clean sweep of those last 4 spots. As Vigaleas got the job done for, was it French Polynesia? I think that was.
That was cool last time, yeah.
But New Zealand clearing it up with Ghost Chips, Isaac from DC, Skyfall, and the name went too quickly for me there, but it's fine because we will be able to catch up with them in the closed qualifiers they are going through.
Oh, here we go. You can see right here, this was Skyfall playing Akuma then. Damn, you see that? That was crazy with the fireball there from Dalsim.
Enhanced.
Fireball. Low Gaeth. Dalsim, a character that a lot of people have been talking about lately, of course, with the Mr. Crimson win. Sabin doing work with Dalsim as well, winning multiple tournaments, as well as qualifying in the IWO. But there it is. Skyfall will take that one with.
I feel like in all these clips, like we talk about these characters that are doing work, and
I know,
and then just Akuma just gets the win.
It happened with Nash, Dalsim. He's like, don't forget about me.
These characters are doing great. I know Akuma's still there, just punching people up, beating Seths as well. Just really, really strong out here. We are going to be moving on though to, I think, probably like the loudest region.
My goodness. Hype.
Loudmouth Central. They've always got a lot to say.
Love to talk. But they can back it up too. Don't forget.
Well, this is street talk.
Oh, we are street talking right now.
This is street talk, and we're going to be talking to you on the other side of this about North America. That was your highlights from North America. Let's take a look at both of the coasts who wrapped up their qualifiers literally only a couple of days ago at lastminute.com. USA West, we saw only one qualifier happening. Last 3 all happening this last week, and it was hectic. We didn't see Nephew or Samurai, who are 2 of the biggest names on that coast, go through, but they made it through immediately next time round in Open Qualifier 2.
You love to see that, the real established players just immediately getting in there and making it work.
Yeah, it's shades of like Tokido and Bonchan in Japan as well.
Yeah, just getting the job done, no messing around. And you can see Nephew here, just such a solid player. Colin versus Balrog in a matchup that I feel Colin does very well in, but Nephew coming out on top, no surprises here.
Yeah, one of the innovators of the character. He's been using Colin for years now.
Offense.
Had a huge amount of success with in recent years, getting there to the Capcom Cup last season, and already qualified again this year. Very, very strong player. Speaking of which, his probably biggest rival in the region now, it would be Samurai, 2 players that we see so often going head-to-head in Wednesday night fights as they're putting the beat down on Mataoha, who is another Wednesday night fights regular. But thankfully, I can say that it's not a disappointing highlight package for Mataoha because he still made it out eventually. Let's move on and take a look at the results there for the third and the fourth qualifiers, because we see some new names starting to come through. Corey Bell, representing with Ed, was very surprising, right?
Yeah, this is a really cool one. You know, always love to see the character specialists, and you know, in a format like IWO with so many open spots available, it's good to see them get a chance to shine and come through. So
we had another sim as well in Dank Diaz. Doing what Dank's been doing all right as well. I think won the 2v2 in Wednesday night fights recently with Commander Jesse, who is not able to make it through. I know he competed in that hotly contested fourth qualifier.
It's hard.
It was, to be honest with you, that fourth qualifier it was a real heartbreaker. But I have to say, shout out to Mataoha making it through in winners. Great to see after that, you know, really difficult upper and lower bracket finals in the second qualifier. It's great to see Mataoha go through. But listen, this is one of those things where I wish that we could have followed this live.
Yeah, same. I know
because
what you're
Luigi DB, Luigi went to the losers bracket in this tournament, which is one of the bigger tournaments. They had well over 100 entrants.
Oh yeah.
In their second game. Luigi DB's losers bracket run was like 15 games.
That's
mad. Was crazy. He even managed to beat Chris T after getting wiped like 10-0. Maybe that was the rope-a-dope. I don't know.
Yeah, that could have been it.
That was the setup. But, you know, congrats to Luigi DB. A lot of talented players that didn't make it out of there in US West. Commiserations to you. But I'm really excited to see how that's going to go. North America West, the rest... which basically means Canada. You can see the results on your screen as well. Congratulations to Ceroblast. Celebrations to Ceroblast. That's the tongue twister.
Right.
They're still putting in great work with Ken. It's always cool to see.
Yeah. I think they are playing Ken. Another player that just kept with Ken. I don't think they dabbled with the Kuma or anything like that.
I think it was a bit of Kage on the go.
Yeah, that's right.
I always love watching the mods that Ciro uses on the stream as well. But here we can see Mortzy going up against Slavic Gold in the lower bracket final. Great to see Fangs still representing Mortzy, one of the most active Fang players in the world. Another real character specialist, as we said, putting in that work and managing to make it through into the closed qualifiers.
That was nice there to avoid the H reflector. Very, very, very good stuff. Love to see that.
And here is the last chance saloon, the Lowinator though.
That's right. Lowinator rocking some Zeku here. We've got came in with the jury, but Lowinator made it through. So yeah,
look at this comeback. You ready?
Any hit?
I'm waiting for the slide. It's definitely on deck.
Come on, jury. I know what happens though. Oh, absolutely.
Didn't even need the V trigger.
Dunked right
there. The V trigger too. Of course, there was no slide.
Yeah. No, not with that one.
I was absent-minded there. I'm so used to it.
Listen, you actually don't expect it. For certain matchups, though, that V-Trigger 2 is...
That V-Trigger 2 is incredible. The corner carry and the stun is crazy. Let's move over to the East Coast, which again... Wow. We're going to talk about this coast for a hot minute, right? You know, now you're on my talk show. Robert Television.
Now what?
Robert Television and Brian Foster. Now that you're watching our talk show, me and Tyrant both together in a studio in the same place, might I add. We've got crane shots. Look at this.
All your favourites.
All your favourites, bro. This is how it's done. This is how we do it in Europe. Yeah. There's nothing free here. It's very expensive.
Nothing free.
Very expensive. Yeah. But congratulations to Rob TV and Brian F, who again both made it out in the same event. It's really cool that happened.
No doubt, that is
definitely no neutral boys.
It's definitely really cool to see that. Man, big shout outs to these guys. Like, not only are they able to provide that entertainment with the CPT going week in, week out, also bringing the goods here with the gameplay. You love to see it here. Rob, of course, playing Karen. Character that
Big Hollywood!
Big Hollywood there. Bang. Boom.
Booking that spot in the close qualifiers.
iDrop was the training dummy here by the look of things for these guys. Absolutely just getting that work.
Both put the work in qualify.
And that V-skill's so crazy.
Where do you think you're going?
Oh my goodness. Brian, some of the best confirms, I feel like, for a boxer player. He's just so good at that. Bang.
With damage to spare, with the perfect. Shout outs to Brian F making it through alongside Rob TV. Happy news though, Arturo TS Sabin making it through in the third time of asking. I don't know what's going on here.
They're just jabbing it out, brother.
Exactly.
That's the courtesy call right there. But yeah, so shout outs to Arturo, man. I feel like he's one of the hardest working guys in the community. Not just in Street Fighter. This guy is constantly running tournaments, running streams, playing, competing, placing high.
He was probably running a tournament whilst running.
It's bad.
Making the tournament run. Shout out to Kami making it out as well. I have to say as well, that fourth qualifier, it was really, really heartbreaking. Again, another region where there was a bunch of players that, you know, could have easily made it through on that losers run. We didn't get to see Shine make it out. Didn't get to see Smug make it out either. It was an absolute stacked losers bracket in the qualifier. Some may say, you know. But let's move on. Canada repping against, just sweeping up all of those spots in North America East. There you can see Flux Waves and Safe taking the last two as they move on. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the competition progress in these close stages, man, because there's a lot of name brand players in there, and then there's a lot of newer faces and character specialists that are going to provide us some real interesting matchups to pick apart as we get these close qualifiers in full.
Yep, absolutely. I believe this was from the first one of these two qualifiers here, with T. Kimura taking that one.
Yeah, spinning axe.
Spinning!
Don't press any buttons.
And then, of course, this is some footage from the second one there. Got Safe here and Flux Wave with the poison. Oh my goodness, he V-reversaled into the bottle. Feels bad. Man, Poison's so strong in this game. Like, the fact that she's been nerfed and she's still like...
It's a bad matchup for Urine. I feel like the ground game is just horrendous.
It looks pretty bad, I can't lie. Like, I guess he can approach, though. You know, he's got the knee drop. And
he's got knee drop.
Yeah, different ways in. But still, good stuff. Exciting.
It is. I'm even more excited to move on into the closed qualifiers for North America, because there's an abundance of, you know, incredible young talent on display there. Speaking of talent that's on display, we are going to go south of the border next as we look at Central and South America. So let's take a look. Highlights there from Central and Southern America, and this has to be one of my favorite emerging regions at the moment. You know, you look at some of the countries and the players that we've seen come through in the lifespan of Street Fighter 5 specifically.
That's true.
You know, Mexico has a really strong history in a number of fighting games, but if you think about Street Fighter 5, Central and Southern America has really burst onto the scene. Let's take a look at the last two qualifiers, though, from Mexico, and we saw Laura Asesina and Gama making it through in the third qualifier, and then Vicaron and Jazdero made it out in the last chance saloon there into the closed qualifiers. Here we see the upper bracket finals with Vicaron going up against Jazdero. And look at that, another Urian makes it out in winner's side. What a shock.
Yeah, Urian, definitely a character that is a recurring theme here, along with some of the other ones. Like I said earlier, Boxer as well, another one we've seen a lot of. But Jazdero here rocking Ibuki, a character I feel like is still very capable in this game. Yeah, that was beautiful. But here we go, the plus frames on deck. Ooh, Jazdero trying to make something happen here, but we all know how this one unfolds. It will be Vicaron who takes that one. Good stuff.
Mexico moves on with their 8 names into the closed qualifiers.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look now at another region, which is really one that is close to my heart. The Dominican Republic. And we saw Mena and Crossover make it out. But the big shock here,
we all know.
The big shot here is no Kaba.
Kaba.
You have no Kaba making it out. But Louis Man and Hermes Venatori are both very accomplished players in the DR. Louis Man using Sim. Hermes Venatori, a young emerging player using Kami. But let's look at how Louis Man made it out in the winner's side here.
Yeah, let's check it out. Wow. Yeah, shouts to Louis Man, of course, making this happen. But G seems like the kind of guy that can just close the gap on Sim with ease, man. Does not look fun.
that was for the round. That interruption, the stunner for the round, a huge interruption from Louis Man. I feel like the defensive decision making of Sims is really what pushes them up to the elite tier.
Right.
For me, you could say which button to select in the neutral is different. but for me, when I watch a really good Sim play, and it's always the defensive decisions that really put them over the top for me. Great to see 2 of my guys getting out from the Puerto Rico in the rest of Central America. Mono does it on second time of asking after losing to Grand Todokai in lower bracket finals last time. Mono makes it out in winners. Despite he was hospitalized, by the way, a couple of days before this, and he still made it out. So shout outs to him. And Olivo gets the job done in the lower bracket side as well. So the PR is repping strong.
Yep.
Shout out to AJ Martinez, who had a good running in that last qualifier as well, but couldn't make it out. It was Olivo versus AJ, I think, in the lower bracket finals. But the PR is going on to join St. Lucia. I see with Ricky J, which is really cool to see, and Panama, Grand Todokai, in Central America. So let's move on a little bit further south now as we continue our journey here through the region, and Brazil, I believe, is going to be next up.
Yep, there we go. We've got Brazil there. You can see some of the names here. Wow, so we see Didi Mokov is definitely one of the ones I would have expected to see have qualified pretty early on, actually.
Yeah, Sim again.
Sim again, making it through in the third qualifier, though. In the loser side, of course, Paolo Webb making it through in the...
I think it really speaks on the depth of talent in the region. Paolo Webb's Laura is very strong as well. No sign of Jarleshi, who has managed to be so impressive in the CPT events over the last 2 years.
Okay.
Not making it out, though. There's no Jarleshi there. We've got Juninho Rush and Showdown in the fourth qualifier as well. So that is your 8 Brazilian players that will be moving on. Let's take a look at some highlights here as Paolo Webb will face... this is Didymokov in the upper bracket finals. This looks like it's going to be a perfect, but it's not. Another great defensive decision by a Sim. And is Laura going to be able to make the big...
Oh, yeah, I think this one's going to go down. Not so great for Didymokov. Of course, this would be the winner's side.
Oh, that was nice.
That was
really nice answer to feature.
Laura Sim, a matchup that, we saw that exciting grand final set at Rebel Kumite. So that was another throwback there. But there we go. So here we go. This is, I guess, one of the...
Yeah, Juninho making it out in the fourth qualifier.
Yeah, fourth one.
And it's nice to see a Ryu. Ryu's a character that we definitely, he's been way stronger this year.
No doubt.
Every year, I think he's got better and better after the awful, hamstringing he took in season 2.
I mean, he needed it.
It's great to see Reeves showing up and repping, because I think he's a very underutilized character in competitive play.
Hey man, it's the Fortnite buffs. He came back from that game with a whole new set of tools, let me tell you. He came back
Look, man, he's on the cover of the game. He's on the wall behind me.
Yeah, he's there.
We should be seeing him in finals. He should be up there. Let's move on to the rest of South America, and you can see there that Argentina standing very, very strong. Names like Shaka and Self-Call are ones that I'm very familiar with.
Right.
But shout out to Patriarca doing it for Chile, and Pertus177 going out in the upper bracket. So I keep saying winners and losers, but we're esports now.
Oh, upper bracket. Okay.
Shoes,
upper bracket. Okay.
Upper bracket, lower bracket. That's what it is. Pertus177 there as well. That is your 8 players that make up the rest of South America as we progress into the closed qualifiers.
Absolutely. Closed qualifier format now. So there we go. We've seen everybody make it through. We've seen all the results. And this is where it gets really exciting now. Because now we're going to get the longer sets. We're going to get to see the players that perhaps we're more familiar with. Some of the ones perhaps we're not so familiar with as well. Really thrown into the mix and just put on an exciting, more traditional tournament format that perhaps we're used to seeing.
I feel like, upsets were to be expected amongst the open qualifiers. 2 out of 3, it's kind of hectic. It was random generated brackets as well, so the seeding wasn't done in traditional style. You had people meeting early on, you had people meeting on the same side of the brackets. Anything could happen. This time around, like you said, we're running the longer sets. I think we're going to see a lot more, of the expected results to come through, but that means that if we have an upset, it's even more of a big deal, right?
That's it. That's where it gets really, really exciting. That's what I was talking about. There's so much to look forward to, man. It's going to be so interesting to see who eventually emerges. I'm really looking forward to seeing if any of these upsets can happen, like you said, and we do get the emerging players that not only made it through the open bracket format, but to go through the closed would be so exciting to see. But it's not going to be easy, because a lot of these regions are going to be repping some of the stronger players that we're used to seeing.
Well, I think one of the most important things we're going to have to pay attention to this week is when the brackets are seeded and generated, and we find out what these head-to-head matchups are, because we've got an abundance of character specialists, right? And if you're a character specialist, you live and die on your character matchups.
Oh, yeah.
So for some of these guys that are coming through with, maybe a Sim or a Ed or a Fang, those kind of players where they've got some really uphill matches they have to deal with. It's going to make a big deal when we finally see what these brackets are going to look like.
Absolutely. And of course, the guys that can, that are very versatile with the character selections, your infectious, your punks, they're going to be able to bring a variety of characters and really put a spanner in the works.
Or, people that just use characters like Rashid or Cammy that don't really mind that much about it.
No bad matchups, bro.
They're all right. They're okay. Just run their game. It might be a bit more difficult, but they're just going to run their game. I'm really looking forward to these closed qualifiers.
Same.
Obviously, we're going to be bringing you guys all of the action, because you're going to get to see all of the games. They do start next week, so the players have got a bit of prep time. We're going to be putting that together, and you're going to be able to watch the stream on twitch.tv/ESL. It's going to be really, really great games. Gourmet gaming.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
I believe. But that is going to be it from myself and from Tyrant.
It is going to be, that's it from us this time, but these recap shows were really fun. I hope we can do some more stuff like this in the near future.
Yeah.
This is great, this is really, really cool.
Really fun being in this studio and environment. They managed to get me to put trousers on. I've got real shoes, custom made shoes, tailored trousers, merino
head to toe.
shirt, custom made head to toe, like the nature boy.
Woo!
And we'll be back right here in the studio as the Intel World Open progresses through the closed qualifier stages to the regional finals to the culmination. It's going to be happening right here. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in about a week's time for some more action. But until then, you take care. We'll see you soon.